How do you feel about me taking my shoes off?
You could literally do
We
whatever
were
you
just
want.
talking
Okay.
about how the last time you came in, the first thing you did was got barefoot.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, classic.
Yeah, do your thing.
Some things never change. I'm still the same old lady.
No, it's okay. So while you, by the way, hi, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That's Dan.
Hey.
That's Ashe taking her shoes off. Those are some sick New Balances. It does add like okay. So why do you take your shoes off? But I do want to know why, because people do it to feel grounded, right? I do believe in a certain way shoes are just prison for your feet.
Well, they do protect you, right, in the wild. Like, there's weird stuff on the ground, I'm telling you, in the world. And, like, you could hurt your feet and glass and stuff. But, no, in this setting, I feel like, I love you and I know you. So I'm like,
we're protecting feet here.
Let's get comfy. I'm going to leave my socks on because I feel like it's kind of cozy cozy that way.
I did come in today and I was like, oh, the studio's giving a little bit of fall energy. Like it smells a little fall. The sweaters give fall.
Do you have a candle? Oh.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Oh, it's nice.
It's figuring itself out.
That's so nice. I brought a candle for a friend from Nashville. It's this like a specific Nashville place that makes these really yummy candles, and I brought it for a friend, and I forgot to give it to her yesterday, and so
You gonna steal it?
Yeah, I just started burning it in my Airbnb yesterday. I'm like, this is mine now. Sorry. Whoops.
Your
Anyways.
life is different since Nashville, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I love my life so much. It's much more low key for sure. Life is a bit more I don't know, balanced is probably a good word for it.
Describe what factors are weighing into the balance. Like what determines the balance? Do you get what I'm saying?
I think my priorities just have shifted a lot. I mean, I value like my friendships and my community and, you know, making music so much more than sort of like seeing and being seen and being in the rat race of it all. There is a level of the rat race that is fun, and like I like to come to LA and dip my toe in it or go to New York and have a little bit of fun, but there's just a balance now in my life in Nashville that's like friendships come first, and then we make music, and then we cozy up and like have our community and spend time with real people. Like connection above everything else, I think is the biggest thing. And so then that like flows into all the art. Like I just feel, I don't know. I'm already rambling, but
No.
that's how I feel.
You can tell that by the way, the album's really special.
Thank you.
It had to have been made with the most tender love and care, but also with people that you felt vulnerable and safe around. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm. Is it like rotating through a group of people? Is it just one group through every record? How'd you curate the rooms where these were created?
So it was these two lovely gentlemen, Colin Pastor and Jake Finch. I ran into them in a session. Suki Waterhouse came to town. And she's the friend I was supposed to give the candle to yesterday. Like, I'm so sorry. But I didn't tell her I was going to give it to her, but now she may know. Sorry. Shall we? But she came to Nashville to play Bonnaroo last year, and I was still pretty deep in like I'm hidden hibernation, not really sure if and when I was going to make music again. And she asked to write, and I was like, well, I love her, and I've known her for years, and I just feel like there was something in my stomach that said, like, saying no feels, not right. And I showed up, and Colin and Jake were the producers of the session, and Mickey Echo was there as well. And we just all got on so well, and there was just this like spark that lit again in that session. I was like, oh man, not only do I feel connected to myself, but I'm good at this. Like being in that like writing session environment, I was like, this is my home. I'm safe here. I I know exactly what to do in this environment and how to speak to like Suki as the artist and understand her and what she was trying to express, and then also speaking kind of producer language and knowing how to communicate with them. And I just like clicked into a gear, like, felt really connected to myself. And so they were the guys at that session, and the very next day I woke up and I wrote Please Don't Fall in Love with Me, which is the first song on the album. And I texted them and I was like, y'all, I have to record this song today. Please be free. And they moved everything around and they were free. And so that's kind of kicked it off.
It's really special that like all of this reconnected for you when doing it for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, do you think you would have had that same reaction if the first session into this was...
For me?
Yeah.
No, not even a chance.
Because you're in a different headspace, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I wasn't sure I was ready. Like, I wanted to say no to Suk because I was like, I love you and I want to spend time with you, but I don't think I'm ready to make music again. And that sort of yes, because it was going to be for her at the time. It was like, it felt very, at least like a little bit more protected. Like I wasn't quite on the line. My heart wasn't on the line. I was like, okay, this is for you. We're doing this for you. This is about you. And I mean, immediately I got home and I was like buzzing. Like my whole body was like buzzing. I was like, oh, I love music. I love it. I was just like so excited again. So
the feeling of not knowing when it's time, like to make music again, like that gave me chills when you said it because like that's so much of your identity. Mm-hmm. Can you just like that has to be scary to be in the throes of this emotion where you just feel like you can't do what is so naturally and organic to you.
Yeah, I was just really sad. It was like. I felt very, like disconnected from myself and who I believed myself to be. 'Cause like, yeah, how could you not want to do the thing that you sort of feel like you're born to do? But I had so much, I had such a negative relationship with it after like playing 70-something shows in 2022, which just note is a lot for some and not a lot for others. For me, that's a lot. Now I know 70's too many.
70 shows is crazy. You should be so proud of that though. Do you find pride in that? Can you look back at that with?
To an extent, I feel proud that my career, I put a lot of love and effort and hard work into my career and my music. And we built it up to a place where people bought tickets to 70 shows. Like, that's something to be celebrated and special. And I'll never take that away from myself. But I had no business doing 70 shows. Also, you don't know what you don't know till you know it.
But that's 100% it.
So I didn't know that was going to be too many. Because I look at a lot of my idols or peers busting their butts and, they seem to be okay. And I'm like, they seem fine and their mental health doesn't seem like it's, wavering at all. Meanwhile, they're all having mental breakdowns.
I was going to say.
We're just
yes.
not talking to each other about it. That was a revelation that happened sort of after. So I ended up canceling a world tour in 2023. And I started calling friends about tour. I was like, maybe instead of music, I'll become a novelist. And I was like, I'm going to write a book about mental health and touring. And honestly, I might still kind of like keep all these little notes hidden away because I started calling all these wonderful artists who've toured. And wow, everyone has a very interesting, similar relationship to.
Even the ones taking
touring.
private jets, okay?
Yeah, dude. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
It's just,
It's
yeah.
crazy, but also somewhat comforting. Can't you find peace in the fact that what we all do share
Yeah.
is so many things? And on the list of many
Yes.
things is mental health.
Yes. And for some reason, like, we find it really hard to, like, talk about it with each other. I think we might, I mean, this is so layered, but I feel like there's a lot of pride that we all have of, like, wanting to seem on it and strong and beautiful and tough. And I really identified with being tough. I'm a tough lady. And then that really got me in trouble. And so if I went to someone and asked for help, or, you know, hey, I'm dealing with this sort of like in crippling anxiety, do you have that? Instead of going to someone, I didn't want anyone to look at me as, you can't handle this. You asked for this and you can't handle this. So you're weak and you're not tough. I couldn't hear that, because then I'd really need to go to an insane asylum. Like, really need help. Anyways.
Here's the deal. It's okay to not be as tough as the person people perceive us to be. And do you think your tough identity, parts of that fueled by the empowering nature of your music? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I am tough. And
You could be tough and not tough at the same time.
Exactly.
Both are okay.
It's always all of them. It's
Yeah,
always,
but we're
there's so much
human.
duality.
Yes.
Yes. It got me in trouble thinking that I was like, you know, I didn't need help and I had this all under control on my own.
But is that in your own head?
For sure. No. I mean, I think it's all in my head to an extent. And I think the world gets uncomfortable when we stop, like, playing into the whole game of it all. I think, I mean, this is layered, and I don't think I have all the right words, like, put in the correct order to make it all make sense. I feel like there's a verbal processing that probably needs to happen. But I do feel like there is a level of keep your mouth shut, because, like, look at the sort of backlash Chaperone is getting right now, like, because she's setting boundaries for herself and she's like, this is too much. Like, there's a lot of people. I'm like, we don't have to get into this too much because
it's true.
We don't want to get canceled, but, like, that's a huge piece of the, like, puzzle. She's in a like, kind of some shit right now because she's like, this is too much and I'm saying it.
She's doing what's healthy for her, and it is crazy. And I do think that, like, it's really sad, because I do believe that the public fails to offer grace to the people that make them feel the most understood. And those are the artists that are just human beings, just like them. Mm-hmm. If you run anything that someone who you love through a screen or through the speakers or whatever, through sitting or standing in a crowd and watching them on stage, if you run their life and their instances and their actions through the same filter that you would for your best friend, you may look at things a little bit differently. You may approach things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And I can make the case that, like, you don't know these artists, but they're crafting art that makes you feel beautifully understood and genuinely understood. So, like, offer them the same grace that you would a friend.
I think it is hard for people to take the sort of, like, celebrity or whomever off the pedestal to look at them in that light. I think we all need to, because at the end, she's just a human. You're
being,
just a person.
Yeah, and she just happened to craft songs that made you feel understood.
Yeah.
But breaking news, like, the reason, like, she's gone through the same things that you're going through, right? Like, there's a connectivity there. There's a reason why that
That's why
song...
you feel understood,
Yeah.
you dummy. Sorry.
It's true.
Yes. 100%. Yeah. But the age as old as time that's just sort of like not acceptable for some reason to see people as just people. But anyways.
A lot of what we're talking about, by the way, is captured in this album, right? Willson is this third piece of, it's your full name.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Thanks.
This is a really cool idea.
I think it's cool. Thank you.
Well, because each album is very distinct pieces of who you are, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Are they parts of who you are forever or parts of who you were at these times?
Both. All of it. Yeah. I mean, albums are always sort of snapshots of where you're at in that season, that particular season. But some of that remains with you always. There's stuff that's just innately who you are always. So it remains to be the truth.
We can start with Dear Stranger just because we were talking about, I mean, the relationship one has with those who consume their art. And you can take art however you want it, right? Like it's up to the person receiving it, their interpretation. But in this situation, are you talking to yourself as a stranger? Or are you actually talking to strangers? Because it sounds like you're talking to fans and essentially resetting boundaries and reintroducing yourself.
Yeah, this is like the love letter to the fans on the album. Like trying to be really honest of like, you know, it literally says I've been pretty bad, but I'm coming back and I'll be seeing you again. Which, side note, was like the coolest to perform live. I did a one night only show in Nashville, and just them screaming every word to that song was just the most magical. It's funny, I've never felt more connected to my fans than this season. And I think partially that's been because I've been very vulnerable and very honest about where I've been at and trying to be sort of brave enough to like, and you might not like what I have to say. And they've been so kind. I don't think that's true of all fan bases. I do think there's different communities and cultures and amongst artists and fan bases, but I've been like there's been so much grace and love. I'm so raspy today. Listening back. Sorry.
You say, though, I'm not the same. I will not be the same again. Don't go looking for the girl you loved. Her innocence is dead. And I buried all my sin inside a casket in a grave. Here lies someone almost famous who gave up everything.
That's so good. Yeah. Here lies someone almost famous who gave up everything is one of my favorite lyrics on the album.
Why did you want to convey that to the people who consume your art the most?
I feel like I just liked how sort of like self-effacing and self-aware it felt to say that out loud. Like, you almost had it all, whatever all means. And you chose to get help instead of continue to chase that sort of like whatever that dream is. So it meant a lot.
Do you think getting help allows you to actually chase the dream?
I think getting help allows you to recalibrate what that dream is. At least for me, like there was a pretty solid minute during my sophomore album and that 70 show tour that I started to believe that what I wanted was success and fame. Saying that out loud even feels like bleh, but it's true. That's where I was at in that season, 2022. And there's nothing, not from a place of judgment. There's also nothing wrong with that. I think there's a lot of people that make that their dream, and that's okay. For me, starting out, it never in a million years do you get in. For me, I didn't make music to be rich and famous. It's not. If anyone wants to make music to be rich and famous, you're in the wrong profession. Pick a different shtick. Like, it's not gonna work. And I think I really that season I started to maybe put myself on the same pedestal I thought the fans were putting me on. There's this quote. Oh, I don't want to forget his name. You'll have to fact check me. I think his name is Charles Cooley. It's like a sociologist from like 1900 something, 2. And the quote's like, I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. Which is a little bit of a mind meld. But that, like, my whole identity and perception of self can get wrapped up in
What somebody else thinks you are.
what I think you think of me. And I really got sort of swept up into all that. And that's super, like, I did not think I was going to say that out loud to you. But that's honest.
It's weird because there is a balance, right? Like, in order to be a successful musician, quite possibly in any year, in any decade,
Sure.
there's a level of selfishness and self-indulgence. And this idea that, like, you have to have an ego strong enough that you're going to create something and people are going to stop what the fuck they're doing and listen to it. Like, you need that ego for survival or to even begin. No? But maybe there is a difference between ego and
Confidence.
yeah.
You also can start looking at yourself through a lens of, like, I have something worthwhile to say, and I think someone else is going to connect to this. And that's the point, you know? Not, I have something to say, and you should listen. Like, shut up and listen, and buy tickets, and buy the merch, and, like, I mean, again, this is so layered, but I think that there can be a really fun side to, like I was saying, sort of like the game and the, what did I say, rat race of it all. There's an electricity to it. There's a high frequency excitement to it. That is fun to play with. But I think more often than not, it gets us into trouble. And it got me into trouble. And refocusing and recalibrating and getting back to the reason why I do this, you know, and that feeling of being so connected to myself in the studio that day. Like, whoa, just, gosh, that's home. That's what matters.
But the first song you write is a letter to your performer self. Essentially talking about everything you just mentioned here. Why do you think that was the first song needed in order for you to create anything else for yourself?
Please Don't Fall in Love with Me, I mean?
Or no, I'm so sorry. What song's about you? You write a song to your, is it I Want to Love You But I Don't?
Oh, yeah. I Want to Love You But I Don't.
That's about, you're writing to like the performer version of Ashe, correct?
Yeah, that's like about hating myself. Yeah. Yeah, why did I need to write that?
Yeah, so when in the process does that record come?
That was pretty early on. That was pretty early on, I have to say. I want to say it was probably like fourth or fifth written. It was in that initial batch of songs that I was like, whoa, I really need to get to the bottom of some of this stuff.
And that starts with Please Don't Fall in Love with Me.
Yeah, so Please Don't Fall in Love with Me was technically the first I wrote as I sort of like entered, okay, I'm making music again. And that was like me really coming to grips with like, I, at least at the time when I was writing that song, was feeling very like, I can only see myself through your eyes. And so whatever you want of me, I will become. And that's what I will be. And it will be the death of me.
I'll melt
And
myself
of
to
you.
fit your mold.
Mm-hmm.
Great line, but really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about yourself as it relates to fans or as it relates to a single person, society at large?
To fans and to relationships, I mean, it's not until my current relationship I'm in now that I have not shape-shifted to be what I think he wants me to be. I think this is a fairly human, we
Totally.
all, like, maybe relate a bit, but I really am guilty of, gosh, I just want you to love me. And say, even in interviews or a podcast setting like this, I remember, just feeling that, like, God, if I leave this room and y'all don't love me, I'm worthless. I hate myself. But if I leave thinking, I think they might love me, I feel amazing. And that's been a pretty, even just like this campaign after, releasing Willson, just coming back, period, doing interviews again, talking to people, and literally having to check myself in moments like these. Like, am I being honest? Am I being congruent with myself and my own feelings? Or am I trying to get the people I'm talking to be wowed and amazed and love me?
You're such a Taurus.
I'm such a Taurus.
Yeah, we're very similar. I understand that.
Yeah. Can you relate to that?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Totally.
Have you found ways to, like, what
I go in
tips and tricks?
Dude, I ebb and flow. Like, some days I just don't give a shit about what anyone thinks about me, and I'm unaware of my own self and actions. And like, I can leave things, and someone will go like, "Oh, do you not like them?" Or like what's up with you? And then there's other moments where like I'm so present and I love being there, and like it's all about eye contact, and I do, like, I suffer from an anxiety that someone will meet me and I won't be the person they met on the internet.
Yes.
And that is, it's a very unique anxiety that not many people can understand for a bunch of different reasons. And like, I do believe that like people meet me and they have a preconceived idea of me.
Yes.
And how do I ever meet that? And by the way, I'm just myself. So if I'm not myself on that day, I have to just accept that. And that's going to be the version of myself that they get. And then, I also can't, it's very, it's layered.
This one's pretty layered, guys. Wow. I mean, everything you just said, just like, I don't ever want you to feel that way, but it brings me joy to hear out loud.
You're not alone.
Yeah, that makes me feel really heard and really seen. Because, or like a fan walks up to you, and is like, I'm just so happy to meet you, but it's not your best day. And you're like, okay, so I have to, like, really quick, I need to turn in to whatever I think you think I am.
That.
And I'm going to make you feel so loved and seen in this moment. That's what you do want. You want people to feel loved. That is always the baseline. But sometimes I'm so tired. I'm just tired. And I can't give it all to you in that moment. So, wow, thanks for saying that out loud.
Of course, but I do think like what all is should be redefined in that moment, right? And then like, I'm also guilty of like probably talking to somebody who's come up to me for a little bit too long, because I think like, oh shit, like have I not made this person's like coming up to me worthwhile? But the reality is like, I can give somebody 60 seconds of really being present, take a great photo, appreciate their time and energy, because I do. I really
100%.
Genuinely, my life would be nothing without artists and the people who consume their art and then in turn consume anything that we post on the internet.
Why would we be here right now at all?
There would be no reason.
Yes.
So I am genuinely indebted and grateful. And I will muster up that energy, but like I am guilty of like, I just need to turn it off when it's time to, like, not turn it off, but there's a natural end to something too. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, I can't keep going thinking that like, oh shit, like, was I nice enough? Did I say goodbye in the right way? Like, I acknowledged one of them twice, but I didn't acknowledge the person they were with twice. I only acknowledged them once. Like, little things like that would get in my head.
A mind game.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and at what point are you sacrificing yourself for the sake of someone else? Like,
Yeah, no, yeah. But the reality too is like, yeah, and I also think like, oh, it's like really not. It's not. I don't know. It's very interesting because it's not a ton of myself to like. I love it. Like I'm like actually motivated by meeting people.
yeah.
It is like
We love people.
Yes, you get a little high from it, and it is a validation thing. That's like the internet sucks. So like even when you go on the internet and it's like either good or bad, and then somebody like you meet them in an airport or fucking at Chipotle or whatever, it's like I don't know. It's it realigns what you do and just reminds you that it's worthwhile. So, but it is. I get you.
If you're in the right mood.
That
You
it
know.
is all about your mood.
Yeah, where you're at that day.
But then also sometimes I go out and I just feel people staring and I rather people talk to me. Like that's something I deal with all the time. I do. It's a problem. And then probably like in your head, it's like, okay, so you think people are staring, but they're probably not staring or like.
Or they are.
And it's not as, you just don't know anymore.
Yeah.
No, but then it makes you insular and you don't want to go out. And that's a whole other thing. And then, when you go out with people and then they're hearing people talk about you while you're just walking around because people are staring. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! I love that you're saying all that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I deal with it with my family. Like, my family will come up and be like, oh, I just heard a bunch of people talking about you. Or like, it's like we're at a fucking market, It makes me not want to leave my house.
Yeah. It makes you feel a little intimidated by... Yeah.
But it's weird. Then again,
the air.
Yes, but then again, I also want people to talk about me. It's like this very mixed emotion.
Yeah, because you're human.
Yes!
Yeah, so does everyone. So does everyone who's not a public personality. They want everyone talking about them and likes and follows. And, like, it's not unique to us just because we're, public. I do think that it is relatable. I would implore those people to tap into that thing that they can relate to, that like that's just a person, let's treat that person like a person. I don't know if this has happened to you, but like if someone comes up and they're just like, can I get a photo? You're like, do you even know who I am? Or do I look like someone you think like...
Or did you see someone else say something and then you felt obligated just in case to come up?
Yeah. I was at Pilgrimage Festival in Nashville, and I was with my soon-to-be mother-in-law and my sister-in-law. And my fiance was playing the festival, and so he got me, the artist pass or whatever, but couldn't get enough passes for everyone to get like the VIP treatment. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to stay with you guys. This is lame. Like, I'm not going to go in before you. And so we're staying in the like, sort of the cattle call, like a huge long line, and I'm sitting with them. And like, dummy, you live in Nashville. People know you live in Nashville. You're friends with most of the artists playing this festival. Of course, someone's gonna spot you. Like, but I've been so out of the rhythm of like, people care. People, like, they're gonna recognize me. I kind of have not been in that headspace at all, which is
healthy,
pretty nice. Yeah. And people are super respectful in Nashville too. They don't like, most people don't come up to you. But I happened to be at this festival and we're in the line and I'm like a sitting duck. And once one person comes over, then a bunch of other people start popping over and I'm an idiot. And my poor mother-in-law's like, you need to leave. And I was like, I feel like I'm making a bad impression right now. But most people were super lovely and kind, which is true. I feel like more times than not, personally, people are very lovely. And then one person came up. It was the last one before I was like, guys, I'm ditching you for the real VIP treatment. Someone came up and was like, hey, can I get a photo? And I was like, in front of my family, like, it was just so, I mean, it was just really callous and not human or kind. And I was just like, I forgot what this sort of whole thing can feel like sometimes. Anyways, what a rabbit hole.
But do you need to create art from a place of not thinking about those things? Or you're thinking about it but maybe not experiencing it?
I think it's better to. Yeah, it's much better to create from a place of like, gosh, I'm famous. You know, like that's not a healthy... I think it's important to create art from a place of like real humility and really like, I don't know, it doesn't feel, for me, it doesn't feel right to create from that headspace, you know? Does that make sense?
100%. But you have to re-enter the headspace in order to promote it or tour it, right? So it is like this cycle that you have to go in and out of.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure out how much of that is true. Because I will say, like, I did this vinyl signing thing, where it's the first time I've been in real human contact with fans again. And I was like, can I do this without putting myself on this pedestal? Can I do this in a way that I'm just a person getting to hang out with these other people who really love your music? And you're going to share this time together, and you're going to meet, and you're going to laugh, and you're going to cry. And it was really beautiful, and I felt so grateful for them in a way that I hadn't in the past. Because there was resentment being built up in the past. I feel like you could kind of hear some of that come up in my voice as I talked about, you know, like someone just coming up to you and...
Resentment fueled by what? This idea that, like, what is it? What do you think it was fueled by?
I mean, a complete and total internal struggle. Like, it has nothing to do with them. It's like misplaced resentment. It's really like, it's not their fault that I had this warped view of myself. That's on me. I get to choose. I get to do the work around, I love my therapist. Like going to therapy and journaling and making sure I'm staying honest and true to myself. That's my responsibility. That's not anyone else's. Whether or not people hate me or love me, think I'm a flop and a fraud, or think I'm a star, their perception of me is not my responsibility. Yeah. And so I have a lot less resentment because it's really like, yeah, it's not anyone's fault. The people who love me or hate me.
Can you explain to me how therapy and music work together for each other?
Well, I mean...
Because they do, right?
Yeah. I'm like, what's the, like, abbreviated, like, shorter version of what's a whole other podcast? I think it's sort of like, in my head, it feels obvious only that because I'm a musician, I make music, and I go to therapy. So I'm like, of course they play into each other. But it's just, I think, a matter of, like, the healthier I am, I think the better music I'm going to make. And maybe the more honest music I'm going to make. But, I don't know, I think someone else could argue, like, wasn't John Coltrane, like, super depressed and a cocaine addict, and he made really good jazz? So I don't think he had a therapist.
No, people say, like, music is their therapy, and it's each, to each their own. Is there truth to that statement for you, or is therapy your therapy?
Therapy is my therapy, and also music. I mean, like, writing I Want to Love You But I Don't was like the first step towards me liking myself again. It was just like, sometimes you just need to say the thing out loud. Say the scary thing that you don't want to say. Say it. Take all of that power away from the thing, and you feel a lot better. And so, yeah, you're putting a lot of yourself into these lyrics and saying things that is really hard to say out loud, but maybe a little easier if you put a cute little melody to it. And suddenly, yeah, you are sleeping better at night. I don't know. So it's connected.
And I was someone special whenever I caught your gaze. Now I'm struggling to catch my breath. Mm-hmm. This really is like a scathingly mean letter written by you to you.
It's mean.
Is it easy to be mean?
To myself? Yeah. Is it easy to be mean to yourself?
I mean, probably.
I mean, maybe
Yeah, because
you are in a healthier place than I was at that time.
No, I mean, I think I'm intimately familiar with my flaws. Mm-hmm. I think I just like try.
Probably good.
Yes. Well, you could be aware and still like put them in a box and ignore them.
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
if if you're just going to ignore your flaws, then is it really any good? And is any health?
No.
Is it healthy? Is it like life evolving for the better? No.
No. I guess the hope would be the self-awareness forces you to look those things in the face and work on them.
Well, yeah.
But
I put mine in a box. You put yours in a song for all to hear.
yeah. Yeah, which is better? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Probably the song, because there's accountability there, and then there's a constant reminder.
Yeah, everyone's like, remember when you had a mental breakdown and canceled the whole tour and then put it into an entire album? Don't do that again. Like we saw it's going to be so, I sort of was joking about this with my therapist. I'm like, I can't pull this card again. I mean, sure, I can do whatever I want. But I don't ever want to pull the card again of I've had a mental nervous breakdown and need time off. I'd really prefer to do my best to stay as healthy as possible while doing the thing I love and see where that takes me. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Do you think doing the thing you love would lead to you being healthy? But if you do what you love in the proper doses, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I guess my instinct is to say yes. I don't know. I think that it gets a little complicated. The first thing I told my manager when I was like, all right, we're making an album, let's put an album out. First thing I said was, I'm really scared this goes well. Because the better it does,
The more you have to do.
the more like mental gymnastics I have to do around like staying true to myself and being honest and keeping my priorities straight. It's really easy when everyone's like, you're a star and you're gorgeous and whatever, to believe them and then say yes to a million things that are going to just chip away at your sanity. And when you're hidden from the world, no one wants anything from you. You also don't get sent free things.
Yeah, you don't make money.
Yeah.
Or not as much money as you could.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of things.
There's a lot that goes into it.
You can't hide yourself away in the fear of what if. Right? Because then you're also not doing... It's two things, right? Like, you're not doing your art. You're not giving your art the most that you can possibly give it when this music is fucking amazing. And two, You shouldn't be manifesting at all this idea that hopefully
Hopefully this crashes and burns.
yeah, hopefully that nobody really tunes in so then I don't have to like mentally do a bunch of shit.
I know. Totally.
Because this album is great. It is both nostalgic and present. Each song is so individual. It's like no song sounds alike. It's great. It is like genuinely live, real music. It feels authentic. The story, yes, but also, dude, the instrumentation and musicianship is superb.
Thank you.
It's great. I'm not crazy, right?
No, it's very good.
That's so nice, guys.
It's true.
That means a lot. I really like it. I really, really love it. Yeah, and you want people to love it too, you know.
You mentioned In Castle. Dude, taking myself back, even if I let everyone down. You've come to terms with that, like doing whatever it takes to just do its best for you.
I think that's that's a daily reminder. Like I have to daily choose that. Like it's not just like I wrote a song and now I'm like, I choose myself. And I'm really good at it. Every day I have to sort of remind myself that. I should probably just listen to that song every day. But yeah, it's that notion of like we were saying earlier of like sacrificing yourself for others versus maybe choosing yourself knowing you might be letting some other people down. And that's really hard for a Taurus or anyone. Or like a people pleaser, you know, someone who just wants everyone to, you know, feel loved and good. And I hated canceling tour. The weight that was lifted when I canceled was unmatched. Never felt that way in my life. The minute I was like, told my manager, okay, we can't do it. But like sharing that note that was like, I think I even said in the note something about, I'm so sorry to have disappointed so many of you or something. And it hurt so bad. I did not. Yeah. I felt so guilty that I had let it get to where it got. And I never want it to get there again. And that's my responsibility. Not anyone else's. So yeah, I'm back. And anyways, all that to say, I'm here, sitting with zachsang, promoting my album.
By the way, you can listen to Willson. It's waiting for you. It's all on Amazon Music. And there is a strategic order to this album, right? Like, dude, I Want to Love You, But I Don't goes into Helter Skelter, which is like that's peak mental crisis, yeah?
Yeah. Peak nervous breakdown.
And then that leads into Dear Stranger, which, you know, essentially reintroduces yourself and resets boundaries. Mm-hmm. And then Hornet's Nest is interesting because it's essentially you choosing to burn down your gardens, eh? Mm-hmm. Which is where you went to escape. Mm-hmm. Why is that a part of the healing process?
I don't know, because you gotta burn some things down in order to like heal from the ashes. I mean, it's cheesy.
Beautiful.
But true.
It is so true.
Come on.
No, it's true.
But yeah, hated myself saying that.
No, but it's accurate.
But yeah, that's how I felt. Sometimes that's why when you put something in a song, it doesn't sound as cheesy as when you say it out loud. When you say it in a room to just some dudes. And then you're like, oh, F. Right. Anyways.
Why'd you put Don't Do Me Any Favors on a CD? Like, I have to go buy a CD player to listen to this thing. What's going on?
I mean, there's definitely sort of a secret hidden messaging to that one.
I mean, so much so that you want it to only live physically.
Physically. Yeah. Legally, what I'm allowed to say. Just kidding. Not kidding. I finished the album, and then due to many convoluted reasons, I went independent. And then I wrote that song, and I added it to the record. I can say that legally.
What fueled the independence?
I mean, other than reasons I can't say, which is so stupid. So freaking dumb. It also was the biggest blessing I could have asked for. Like how perfect that this album is mine and only mine. I've also never worked harder on a record. I always work hard on my records, but I am full CEO. I'm in budget spreadsheets for music videos. I'm directing videos. I'm, like looking at profit loss statements and then also like meeting with the photographer to work through our entire creative, campaign and direction. And
I just gotta say, I think a tourist works best this way.
I think we love control.
Yeah, but within reason, and then eventually you'll find the right people that you trust, but you still manage or in the weeds on it,
Yeah, I found a lot of joy in the weeds too.
And
I'll be honest.
Understanding
and connected to I feel way more connected to all the listeners and the people that are loving this record and buying tickets. I understand every single aspect to every little teeny tiny thing of down to the merch designs and it's cool and it just makes it feel a lot more special and I'm far more invested in both a true financial perspective and also emotionally and spiritually. It's really cool. But wow.
Can we talk about I Hope You Die First? Because it is connected to Ray.
Okay, say more.
Is it not connected? Am I crazy there? It's a lyric from Count on Me.
You little detective, you.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's true.
I hope you die first so you'll never know what it's like without somebody to lean on.
Mm-hmm. My friendship love song of Ray. Till Forever Falls Apart was the friendship love song of Ashlyn. And that was Count on Me with Ray. Yeah. I just always loved that sort of notion of it feels so selfish to want to die first so you don't have to go through the pain of losing the person you love. But I really like the idea that I could be there for the person I love when they go. And then I'm right behind you, And I got to fall in love in the midst of taking almost a year off. I was completely out of the public eye, and our relationship just got to sort of breathe and have this really special time for while I was sort of quote unquote gone. And so there's a couple songs that are, you gotta throw some love in there, baby.
Being in love today, does it make you look or question the love you thought you had before in previous relationships?
It doesn't make me question them. I think I've loved others, but that doesn't mean that they were right forever. Or I needed certain people for a season, and they needed me for a season. This one is different, though. This one, it definitely, there's a hopeless romanticness to this love that I've never felt before. That's really special. I would die for this guy. I've never, ever felt that way before. I wouldn't take a bullet for nobody, except maybe my mama. I'll take a bullet for my mom. She'd be so mad. If I did, my mom would be like, "How dare you take that bullet?" But pretty much, other than her, is this guy. So
that's saying something.
Yeah, I love him. We're engaged. I'm so happy. It's been fun.
Interesting that the last song on the album was a single decided by your fans.
Oh, yeah.
Ashe.
That's cute. I forgot we did that. Yeah.
It ends the album because I feel like it's stating the new version of you.
And musically, like the end of that song is like a dumpster fire of just instruments losing their minds. And there's just no better song on the album to end the thing, specifically musically. But also, yeah, it's like it's really wrapping up. I'm learning to like myself for the first time. Felt like the best way to sort of like, it just put a bow on the album that I didn't even mean to do. But yeah, I thought it would be cool to involve the fans in choosing it because honestly, I had a really hard time picking what that would be. And so I sort of wanted to take the pressure off my own shoulders and was like, what do you guys think? So it was kind of special.
What do all those instruments making all that noise represent?
I mean, ultimately, it feels like it represents the chaos of my existence. And it sounds really beautiful and exciting and also like noise sometimes. And it's super overstimulating. And you just want to go and crawl in a hole because it's just too much. But yeah, it really feels like a metaphor for
you.
Yeah. I finished my coffee.
I was thinking when you were drinking that, you're the first person to ever finish the coffee while sitting there.
Really?
Every time we have to dump half coffee, so congratulations.
Huh. Well, you underestimate how much I love coffee. I'm like, can I get some more?
It's just really good to know that like those are the mental notes that Dan makes every time we have a
I know.
guest in here.
That's
like,
what you're paying attention
That's what I'm watching
to.
for.
It's good to know.
I think it might be a mark of also like how comfortable I am with you guys. You know, I feel very like, I'm not like nervously sipping and then like spitting it out before I answer a question.
You're taking big gulps.
I'm just like, you're going to wait while I drink. Take this gulp.
By the way, it is mutual. I don't usually share much about myself. I mean, not really. Carlos? Okay. Mixed emotions in this fucking room. Damn.
I think that's a really special and important thing about what you bring to the table and why I think people love talking to you so much. I mean, I literally messaged you directly and was like, I've said no to a lot of things because I'm careful about how I want to talk about this period of my life and this album. And if I'm going to talk about it, I want to talk about it with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really deeply, deeply appreciate that. And thank you really for choosing us. And you're very special. Like, don't ever forget that. Your music is extraordinary. And
Thanks.
yeah, you're a real musician through and through.
Thanks, Zach.
I think real music exists, but actual music, that's hard to come by. And yeah, you make actual fucking music. So
Thank you.
thanks for choosing us. I mean, dude, it's yeah. I can go on forever and ever. Why do you love Devil Herself, and why do you consider it the weirdest song you've ever made?
If I was a pyromaniac, you would have fetched the gasoline, handed me the matchsticks to burn down everything. Like, it was
Touché.
just like I mean, every lyric on that that song in particular was so, like, we got kind of Father John Misty about it in a, like, let's kind of just say peculiar things that also are really emotional. But, what did there's a line in the chorus, you're not the same anymore. I fell in love with someone else. Not I fell in love with like a different person, but that you, when I loved you, were a different person. And you wouldn't make the sacrifices that you used to make for me. So I fell in love with someone else, as in you. That I don't know that I said that very correct. I do a better job in the songs.
You can listen to it all.
That's really how I feel. Sometimes when I get asked questions about songs, I'm like, I don't know, just listen to the song.
Are you writing most of these records by yourself and then bringing it to the team, or are you writing it in the room? How'd it work?
Yeah, like pretty much the entire album, with the exception to Running Out of Time. I wrote the whole song maybe 90% of the way and then brought it to Colin and Jake. Wow. And then we arranged it and would refine and maybe add a couple lyrics here and there. And they really made me better writers. They did not put up with my bullshit. They were like, you can do better than that on like a certain line. That was really, yeah.
That's inspiring. You need that.
I need that. I really appreciate when someone challenges me. Like the last thing I want is for someone to tell me I'm pretty in a like songwriting room or like, oh, you're a genius. But, no, I think I'm talented and I think I am a good songwriter, but I don't think that I am. I think that there's always room to sort of like push it. And
Totally. But also, like, if you're the smartest person in that room, then you failed at putting together the right room for yourself.
totally.
So,
Yeah, and I think I challenged them too. Like we all brought different stuff to the table in a really cool way. And it's special that like Colin actually went to Berklee College of Music as well, and we graduated together. I didn't even know that he was still doing music. I wasn't in the Nashville scene at the time. You know, I was living here for 7 years in LA. So the fact that he was in that, I didn't even know he was going to be there or still made music. So when, you know, Suki brought me in and he was sitting there, I was like, you still do this? I kind of quit, but I think I might be doing this still. It was a cool full circle.
the universe needed that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and we moved to Nashville, not together, but the same year. We wrote together when I think it was like 2015 we moved to Nashville.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I've been doing this for so long, guys. We're going on 10 years next year.
How many songs do you think you've written in those 10 years?
I don't know. I mean, we're definitely in the 1,000 range for sure. I wouldn't be able to put a number on it, but I've written a lot of songs, and not all of them good. I almost said most of them. A lot of them are good. Like, gonna own that, but yeah.
Will you do sessions for other people at this point, or are you just focused on you?
I'm starting to. Yeah.
I feel
It's like a fun
healthy.
outlet. Yeah, and like I can't speak too much about this right now because I'll get in trouble with my friend, but like started sort of like a side band project that's like separate from Ashe, and also, you know, writing for other people, and also like dabbling in writing, you know, this weird random book that maybe one day,
Again.
10, 20 years from now comes out. Like, it's important to sort of...
You're a Taurus. You need a bunch of shit going at once to actually be the best at your core thing.
Yeah,
It's
I really
weird
agree.
Because like there's something to like over focusing and give it like, God, I don't think a Taurus could put every egg they have in one basket because that's just, well, it's not smart. And then two, I just think energetically there's too much energy to go around, because if you put all your fucking energy into one thing, it's going to explode eventually.
Yes. Well, you're going to explode eventually.
I do have a couple questions.
Okay, just ask a question.
Bring it on, buddy.
Was this album always going to be Willson, or did you think about straying away from the trilogy?
It was only Willson in the final hour.
Really?
Because I have a pretty complicated relationship with my father. Love him. We're not doing well. And your whole, the part of your identity, your name you get, or your last name is from, your paternal side. And it was a real block for me on making the album. And so I decided I would not call it Willson so that I could make the album. And then I got to the final hour, and then I did this, Phineas and I did this like Berklee panel thing where we spoke to students, which was so funny because I was in the middle of Paul Wachter, just like incredible businessman, and Phineas, and he had just won his like second Oscar or something. And I was like, I've been knitting a lot and gardening and stuff. Like I had no business being on that stage. I mean, I do have something to say, and I think it was a good thing. But anyways, we were flying home together from that event to LA, and I was talking about the title, and he was like, "You got to go for your Triple Crown, Ashe." And I was like, "You're right." But the album was done at that point, so I was like, "It's been created," and he was right. Like it was like an iconic idea. So if I would have called it anything else, it would have felt wrong.
You came so far.
I did.
And by the way, no matter what our relationships are with our parents, they're still a part of who we are, right? Like that
100%.
name is still a part of our identity. And honestly, that name is what we make of it. You know, the name is not defined by our parents. It's passed on to us to turn it into something more or
I was
whatever
just
we
going to
want.
say, like, I feel like I have as much ownership over Willson as anyone else. Yeah.
100%.
Just was a roadblock there for a second.
But you did the right thing. You eliminated it, got the album done, and restored it to its desired title.
Yeah. And I do think I'm taking my fiance's last name. So it's really special to put to honor my name with this album, seeing as it's the one that I'm gonna change. I'll always have Ashlyn Ray, but, gonna be letting Willson go.
So now we have the title to the next album,
No. I know everyone thinks it's gonna be Canada.
which is a pretty good album title in a way.
It's a really good album title. It just is like I hate being predictable. I hate it. That was another reason why I didn't want to call it Willson, because fans who follow along were like, it's got to be Willson. But that's okay. Anyways,
It was the right thing to do.
it was the right thing to do.
You can listen to Willson and all three of those albums. They're waiting for you on Amazon Music. Click the link below, code on the screen. What else are you thinking?
You just mentioned knitting and gardening. Is that basically what you did for a year and a half, 2 years? Like, what'd you do all day?
You just became a grandma, and that's all you did?
Sounds fun.
Healthy.
I bought a little stone cottage in Nashville, and I completely renovated it. Bought some power tools and worked on things myself. Painted every wall in the house.
Fun.
Landscaped the yard.
Really?
Like built steps.
Wait, hold on. Like you taught. Hold on. So funny because like you taught yourself how to do these things, or you like hired somebody along with you, or
I hired a contractor. Don't get
Okay.
me wrong, and then I helped, and he probably didn't want my help, but I was
wait till like you're working like right alongside his crew
knocking
of
down
people?
walls. Yeah, it's probably a hazard. But I was like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm going to do it. It's my house. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. It was cool. I really have an ownership in that home. Like, when you come to Nashville, you have to come visit because she's so cute. But yeah, I am so creative. Also, something I really did get from my father is a love of power tools. Like, I'm really good with power tools. And I didn't really tap into that until last year. And I just had the most fun building stuff. And it's like, if I'm not going to be making an album, I must be making something with my hands. And so that was really special. My poor garden, I haven't gardened at all this year because I refocused. I'm making music again.
So your garden must die
So
for
the
the music
garden-
to thrive.
The garden is, yeah, exactly. I burned down my garden. I didn't burn it down, but poor thing did not get watered. Like, it was super sad, but I need a landscaper. I just don't want to pay for a landscaper.
I totally get it.
Feels so wrong. Something I can do myself, but then I don't do it. Anyways. So yeah, I gardened, and I that was about from when I canceled the tour and disappeared for real in February, March, April, May, June, and I took time. It's from December, January, February, March, April, May, June. I took 7 proper months off. I stayed out of the public eye till June of this year. So I was gone for longer, but I started working on the album 7 months after. So renovated a house and painted and gardened and knitted, and then I started writing again.
How long did it take you to finish the album? Like,
I finished it in November. So June, July, August, September, October, November. 6 months.
wow.
Yeah, honestly, and like probably like the first month I knocked a ton of it out, and then we chipped away and finished a little bit here and there. But there was a lot. It was a lot to work through, so it took some time for sure.
Well, that album's waiting for you. All the songs except for one. You can stream it on Amazon Music, but if you want that other one, I think you got to go to Target or look online to buy a physical thing.
Yeah.
Get a
So
Walkman.
what are you waiting for?
Yes. Run to your local Target now.
Literally.
Head on over to Amazon. You can buy the album. Truly, it's all
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It exists there. Thanks for coming in and hanging out.
Also, do we mention the new song? Can we bring it up?
Oh my God, yeah.
Can I talk about it?
Yeah.
So I mentioned that Suki Waterhouse Day.
Oh.
That was supposed to be for her. And then she wanted to do it together. So,
Wait, hold on.
yeah, October 25th.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. I'm like looking through all my notes. I'm like, where is it?
I know, someone was supposed to tell you.
Wait, that's crazy.
I don't think anybody told us that.
Nobody told us.
That's crazy. Her and I wrote a song that day in June when she asked me to come write, and we're putting it out. It comes out October 25th.
Was that always going to be a feature? Was that session meant just for her, right?
It's meant just for her. And then it was so a part of my story, and she knew that. And we were like, it's got to be ours. And so, I mean, she suggested that it be ours, and I was like, whoa. And so, yeah, I cut some vocals on what was originally all her vocals, and we, yeah, how special. It feels really cool that we're putting that out.
What is the name of the song?
That's why other than To See You.
You came here to talk about this.
And we had no idea.
No, that's not why I'm here, other than to talk to you. But I came to take photos with her for the album art or the cover art.
Oh, you're in LA to do the,
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What's the name of the song?
It's called Pushing Daisies.
Great.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to hear it. What?
I know, they should. Fuck. Someone really dropped the ball. Someone's getting fired. Just kidding. Yeah, it's so special.
How do you know that? Like, because in that moment, you really go in expecting to do something for somebody else. Like, this was not intended to be a song for you. You must, like, even place your ego at the door, right? Like, it's a whole different mindset. So,
Yeah.
when did she realize that you needed to be on it? How far into the process?
Well, because she was such a big part of me making music again, like, truly, she kickstarted it. Like, yeah, there's no way around it. Like, it sounds like I'm putting a lot on her, but it's true. Like, she asked me to write again. I didn't want to. I said yes. I went. It was amazing. We had the best time. And then the next day, I started working on the album. Like, yeah. So as I was working on the album, I was trying to find a song on it to bring her onto. Because I was like, I just feel like you're a part of this. And Suki she has such a unique, special thing. And there wasn't a song that, like, did her voice justice, and it just didn't suit. We played with maybe Devil Herself for a second. We were like, oh, that's got kind of a trippy vibe to it. But in the end, we were like, well, we have this song that we literally wrote together. So, yeah, it feels like the final, like, little check mark bow on the album.
What starts it, ends it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's so cool. And the song is really weird and cool and trippy and sick. I'm really proud of it.
Pushing Daisies, October 25th, Amazon Music.
Amazon Music.
Come on.
How'd the
link
photo
below.
shoot go?
Bro.
Sis.
brother. I never say bro. That was funny. It went so well, and I'll tell you, she just put out an album. The final like single is Model Actress, whatever. She's incredible, all of those things. She started out as a model. Like, she is particularly professional at taking photos. I, as a music artist, have taken many photos, but it is not my job. Like, I've never done it professionally. I was so intimidated, and I told her, I'm like, I'm really nervous to sit next to you. Like, I'm not, and not in a self-deprecating way. I think I'm pretty. I'm not trying to be like, I'm ugly next to you. Like, I really did feel like insecure about doing this next to like like just a freaking icon. And it went so well. Of course, she's so cool. She's so down to earth. She made me feel like so comfortable. She was like playing with my hair in the shoot. And I was like, are we in love? Some of the photos I'm interested, we get the film back today. And
The film.
we took it all on film.
Sick.
Yeah. Luke Rogers, who shot my entire album, we flew him out to LA to do the shoot because had to. And she just made me feel so comfortable, and yeah, it went well. I think it's going to turn out cute.
Do you remember the first time you ever wrote with her for anything?
That was the first time.
Really?
Yeah, we've known each other since 2020. And have always stayed in touch and stayed good friends, but we had never worked together.
Dude, that is the universe. That's crazy. That
Isn't
you went
it?
into that session and like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because like, you know the chances of that. Like, all the odds are stacked against you.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, ask any songwriter.
Yeah.
You go into a session working for an artist. Like, the idea is you usually write 10 to 15 songs so that you might get one cut. The fact that the song we wrote, the first song ever, is a song that's coming out is really cool.
but also like sparks this whole continuation of the journey.
It's so stupid.
That's cool.
It's cool.
It's meant to be.
Yeah. So that's really special.
Willson-
And I think it's going to be really cute.
Willson was meant to be. Pushing Daisies meant to be. You can listen to both of them. They're waiting for you on Amazon Music. Link below.
Yeah.
My last question is, you said you made your return to the spotlight in June. Is that when you joined Niall on stage?
Return to the spotlight.
Kind of is. You disappeared, and you said, here I am.
Yeah. And there was a spotlight on me on stage.
There was.
Yeah. Niall played a really cool show in, I think it was upstate New York.
Saratoga Springs.
Boom. Wow. Way to know exactly the city. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was the first time I had ever, yike. That's the first time I ever was in front of people again. It was really cool and was so special because like I was really nervous. That I told Niall before we went out or before he went on stage, I was like, this is kind of the determining. Like if I get out there and I'm miserable,
You're gone for a year and a half.
I'm done.
I'm probably, maybe I'll make more records, but I'm not going to tour and I'm not going to put on shows. And I was so mad when I got off stage that he got to go do it the next day and I didn't. And I was like, guess that means I'm back.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Yeah. And then I called my manager and was like, once we put the album out, I want to do a one night only. And then that was another test. It was like, let's see how I feel on stage at that show.
That's the right way to do it. You can reimagine what touring means to you. Didn't you just perform at NoahCon too?
Yeah.
That's great.
At Pilgrimage Festival.
Casual.
Yeah. It was really, really
The same
cool.
festival you were waiting in general admission to get into?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes.
It makes
I know.
total sense.
I'm such an idiot.
No, it's for the mother-in-law, dude. It's humble. It
Yeah.
shows humility. You're just like them.
Total. Yeah, I'm just one of you.
Yeah, I'm not going to get up and sing his biggest hit with him, right? Didn't you do 60s or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which That's
the fuck out of here.
It's pretty low. It's a pretty low octave for me to sing it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, what's the deal? Do you harmonize and do you even rehearse
like,
before?
Love Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks. And I like you have so much adrenaline on stage when you are trying to hit lower notes. It's like pretty scary. Yeah, my mother-in-law stayed for the second day because Noah texted me the morning of and was like, "Do you want to do stick season?" And I was like, yeah. Okay. That sounds great. And then I totally chickened out of doing the second verse because I was like, it was his last show of a 2-year tour he had been on.
But like crazy.
The last song, his biggest hit of the last show of a 2-year tour. I was like, are you positive you want me to do this with you? So that was really cool. It was super special. And my mother-in-law stayed and got to see it, and that was cool.
That's special.
Soon to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Love is beautiful.
It's been really special. I feel like, and there's like more fun things coming up next year, and I just feel like I'm back, and there's like such a community, not just of fans, but like my peers that are like being so loving and kind to me and like supportive, like Niall and Noah and
real recognizes real.
Yeah.
Like it's true. Listen to the album. Willson's waiting for you. Also, listen to Don't Pull the Plug. The build on it's really fucking cool. Great album. Definitely worth your ear. You good?
Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks for hanging out, Ash.
Oh, I love you guys.
Love you too. You're really, really, really special. Thanks for doing this. Really,
I think
thanks for
you're
trusting
special,
us.
too. Yeah.
I appreciate you.
I think you're special too.
Thanks. We'll go get you some more coffee if you want.
Yeah, that would be great.
Cool.
Thank you.
Ash, everybody.